Welcome back to Module 10.4. In this lecture video, we're going to begin to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines and use the idea of a parallel perpendicular line to write the equation of the line. All right. So as you can recall, parallel lines are referring to lines that never intersect. Why two lines never intersect? Well, because they are parallel. Well, it's more into that. They are parallel because they have the same slope. Think about it. If both lines rise the same and then run the same continuously forever and ever, that means the two lines will never intersect. But one thing to be sure, to make sure you understand, okay, to see two distinguished lines, okay, even though their slopes are the same, but their y-intercepts got to be different. Their y-intercepts are different. So when the y-intercepts are different, by having the same slope, they will never actually intersecting with each other. Okay? So that's the reason why whenever you see same slope, you think about parallel lines. Or parallel lines always have the same slope. For perpendicular lines to be intersecting at exactly 90 degrees, okay, it turns out one line got to go positive slope, the other line got to go negative slope. All right. To be exactly at 90 degrees, okay, the slope got to have opposite sign, and their slope also got to be reciprocal to each other. Okay, the signs got to be opposite, and the numerical value got to be reciprocal to one another. Just like, for example, if one line slope is saying 2, in order for the second line to be perpendicular to the first one, the second slope got to be opposite sign, which is now negative, and the numerical value got to be reciprocal. Reciprocal to 2 means 1/2. Then the two lines are perpendicular. So make sure you remember, perpendicular lines has slopes that are opposite and reciprocal to each other. Opposite means opposite sign. Opposite and reciprocal. Opposite and reciprocal. Okay. Parallel lines, same slope. Perpendicular lines, slopes are opposite and reciprocal. So, determine whether the paired lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. How do I know whether these two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Well, the easiest way to find that out is actually rewrite them in slope-intercept form. Well, what does it mean, write them in slope-intercept form? If I can write them as slope-intercept form, if I can rewrite as slope-intercept form, that means I know their slope right away. Therefore, whenever we write them as slope-intercept form, we got to solve for y. Okay. So my first equation, my y is already positive. All I got to do is move the 2/3 x over. So my first line, that will be y equal to negative 2/3 x plus 7. So the slope of my first line is going to be negative 2/3. Okay. Second one, all right, negative 6x plus 4y equal to 9. To write it in slope-intercept form, as you can recall, solve for y. So let me move the negative 6x over first. So that will be 4y equal to positive 6x plus 9. This 9 is still positive. So to get y by itself, divide every term by 4. So my y will now say, well 6 over 4, by the way, reduced by 2, that's 3 over 2x plus 9 over 4. So the slope for the second line is positive 3 over 2. So as you can see, these two slopes have opposite sign and their numerical value are reciprocal to each other. So that means these two lines are perpendicular. Okay, that's how we do this. So so basically basically parallel and perpendicular lines got something to do with their slopes. So we can use that idea to help us to write the equation of the line, okay? Because to write the equation of the line from the previous two videos, as you can recall, we got to have a slope and at least one point. So these problems are a little bit tricky, okay? We got to read this carefully. Let me explain to you what's going on. Find the equation of the line. All right, so my job here is to find the equation of the line. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. That will pass through this point, 2, 2, which is right here on the graph, 2, 2. And this line that I'm going to find out about is parallel. This line I'm going to find that you don't see right here, it's actually right here, we just haven't drawn it yet, is going to be parallel. My line that I'm going to find out is going to be parallel with the given line, which is right here. And the equation for the given line is the y plus 4 equal to 3 over 4x. Okay, so this thing look kind of weird because this thing is actually written in point slope form. Okay, so let's check it out. I'm going to kind of color code this a little bit. Try to color code. So I got to have a slope. Okay, I got to have a slope. So I'm going to extract the slope from the other line, because since the other line, the other line is going to be parallel to my line. Parallel means our slopes are the same. So y plus 4 equal to 3 over 4x. It turns out, as you can remember now, the point slope form normally says y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Okay, so I can see this parenthesis here is really not necessary. So this whole red line can be rewritten as y minus negative 4 equals 3 over 4 times x plus 0. Because x plus 0 is still x, so since inside parentheses only contain x, there's no need to write the x in the parentheses. That's the reason why here you don't see that extra parenthesis, okay? Here you don't see the parenthesis including the x. But if I rewrite it as in this form, it will look something like this. So don't matter what the form looks like, our job is to identify the slope because we are parallel. So the slope of their line is 3/4. So that means the slope for my line got to be also the same, 3 over 4. All right. And I'm also given, okay, my line also passed through 2, 2. So my given point is 2, 2. So once I got a slope and a point, I can begin to write my equation of the line. So that's y equal to 3 over 4x plus b. I'm going to substitute 2 for x, 2 for y, just to know what the equation is for my line. So once I finish substituting, then we will begin to solve for b. So this is, so 3 over 4 times 2 means 2 over 1. Top 2, bottom 2 canceled out into 1 and 2. So that's 2 equal to 3 over 2. All right, plus b. So I'm going to move my positive 3 over 2 over. So that becomes 2 minus 3 over 2 equal to b. So that will be 1/2 equal to b. All right. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned this or not before. Whenever we combine a whole number with a fraction, okay, we can always use that trick how we convert mixed number into improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. LCD is still 2. All right, so the equation of my line got to be y equals 3 over 4x, where I begin to write plus 1/2. All right, let's try another one. So I like the graph. The graph kind of explains it. Find the equation of the line again. That is going to pass through this point 2,5. But my line that you don't see is going to be perpendicular. It's going to be perpendicular to this given line, blue line, which is written as y equal to 2x plus 8. All right. So perpendicular means the slopes are opposite and reciprocal. Okay, my slope, that my line, the slope for my line will go this way. It's going to be opposite side and reciprocal. So I got to find out the slope of the other line first. Then I will know what's the slope for my line. So y equal to 2x plus b. This is written in slope-intercept form. So the slope for this blue line is going to be 2. So that means the slope for my line got to be opposite sine and reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Why do I do opposite reciprocal? Because my line and their line are perpendicular. Okay. So now I got a slope, and now I also be given a point, 2,5. Let's begin to write our equation of the line. Y equal to mx plus b. So let's substitute 2 for x, 5 for y. That will be 5 equals negative 1/2 times 2 plus b. So that will be 5 equal to negative 1 plus b. Move the negative 1 over. B is equal to 6. So the equation of my line is going to be negative 1/2 x plus 6. Okay, that's all it is. So using the concept of parallel and perpendicular to extract the slope for my line. All right, this one is a little bit trickier, okay? Find an equation of the line again. All right, so this time, no graph either. Find the equation for the line that's going to be parallel. So now my line is going to be parallel to this line. And my line is going to have the same y-intercept as this line. Okay? So basically, I'm going to use a parallel to get my slope. If I have the same y-intercept as the other line, then my slope-intercept form, y equal to mx plus b, will be complete. Because I need the slope-intercept form from the 3x minus 8y equal to negative 4, I need a slope from the red. Okay. So let's do the slope first. All right, my line is parallel to this line, 6x minus 3y equal to negative 8. So once I can rewrite them as a slope-intercept form, then I will know what my slope is. I will know their slope and my slope. All right, so solving for y. See, my variable term is negative, so I'm going to move that over. Bring the negative 8 back. So I should get 3y on the right. Left side, 6x, still 6x. Negative 8 come over, become positive. Divide every term by 3. My answer, y equals 2x plus a over 3. So the slope for their line is 2. So for my line, let me write here, the slope for my line, slope in for my line will also be 2. Why? Because we're parallel. That's the key. All right. Now, my line, I need another point. And this point, they want to use the y-intercept. So my line has the same y-intercept as the 3x minus 8y equal to negative 24. All right, so once again, my variable term, I need to solve for y to know what the slope is. My variable term is negative. I'm going to move it over. So let's bring the negative 24 back. So now it will say 8y equal to 3x, still 3x. Negative 24 come over, become positive. Now divide every term by 8. So y is equal to 3 over ax plus 3. But I don't need slope for the blue because I need a slope from the red because me and the red are parallel. It's just me and the blue just have the same y-intercept. So our y-intercept, the b, gonna be the same, which is 0, 3. So if I know this b is already 3, which is a y value, the y-intercept, and I got my slope, then my answer, my line got to be y equal to 2x plus the same 3. All right. So in this lecture video, we talk about how we can, we talk about the slopes for parallel and perpendicular lines and how we can use those concept of slopes for parallel perpendicular to help us write the equation of the line. Now, on your lecture handout, you also see a summary, okay, and formulas for property of lines. Okay, so this should be on the formula sheet as well. All right. So I'm not going to go through exactly every one of them since we already did so in the video. So that will conclude this lecture video on the parallel and the perpendicular lines. Thank you for watching.